Voices of Grace is a presentation of Grace Hill Settlement House with RareGem Productions, proudly presenting, promoting, and producing positive programs. Learn more at oneRareGem.com. That's ONERAREGEM.com.
We want to share with our listeners and with St. Louis the inspirational and true stories of people who have found their way by the grace of God, by the grace of seeking help, having a hand to hold. We want people to know that nobody gets where they are without somebody walking with them. And that's who we are.
These are the Voices of Grace. We'll be right back. I'm Jade Harrell.
Grace to me, the only definition I can get is from my granny, because she's really, really religious. Grace from her and my perspective, I guess, would be like blessings, like good things that come to you for doing good things or just for putting yourself in a position to receive it. So if the program was available for me to get my daughter in, it was God's grace. Well, my granny would say God's grace to let her be in the program so that I can go back to school myself and mom can go to work in the morning and we wouldn't have to worry about babysitting arrangements and things like that. So grace would be like blessings, in my opinion.
Grace to me, being a single parent of 3 young ladies, would have to start with community. Without my community, I would have no support. Grace Hill Head Start has supported me and my children and everything that, we've done for the past few years. Without that, I wouldn't, be able to work because I wouldn't, really be able to afford, daycare expenses, and my income. I'm able to afford the program and still make a living.
These are the Voices of Grace.
In the 10 years that I've been at Grace Hill, I've seen so many parents who leave us so empowered and emboldened and able to advocate for themselves. It's really amazing the way they find their voices being with us through going through all these opportunities to participate in parent committees and policy councils. And it's very unique, I think. I'm Joe Vogt. I'm the Director of Child and Family Support Systems at Grace Hill Head Start.
Hi, my name is Jill Ketchum. I'm a mother of 3. I do also have a 5-year-old in the Grace Hill Head Start program.
Hi, I'm Daniel Richardson, a father of 3, 2 and 3/4, 1 on the way, 1 5-year-old daughter in the Grace Hill Head Start program.
These are the Voices of Grace. Today on Voices of Grace, we look at Head Start, a core program at Grace Hill Settlement House, which serves 1,500 children and their families living in St. Louis City. Head Start is an early childhood program, and Grace Hill takes this work very seriously. Not only do they focus on these young people, they work in partnership with the family and the community so that the children have the best start to pursue success in their lives. Joining us in the studio today are 2 parents, Dan Richardson and Jill Ketchum, along with Joe Vogt, Director of Child and Family Support Systems at Grace Hill Settlement House. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Share your voice. Tell me about your children. Let's start with you, Jill.
I have a beautiful daughter. She's 5. Mm-hmm. She's, very advanced. She's getting ready to move on to kindergarten. And, they're very supportive of that. They really prepare the preschoolers for kindergarten. They get them ready. They're learning so much right now. I'm very involved in her classroom. The staff there is wonderful. There are 2 teachers in her classroom who are very well educated and experienced in what they do. And I'm just thankful to be a part of this with them.
Tell me what your daughter was like when she first started and how you see her today.
She was actually really excited. She's not a shy child, so she was just, ready and willing, and, they're so hands-on with them. It's very personal with them. She gets excited to go to school. We just have a really good time in the mornings, and even in the afternoons when I pick her up, we can just sit and chat about her and what they've done and what's, going to go throughout the week. And I try to be as involved as I can as a parent. So, I'm always asking questions. What's going on? What are we going to be doing this week? Are we going to be flying kites? Are we going to be having breakfast? And, and I really like to help out because even though there's 2 teachers there's a lot of students. So it really means a lot to them for me to stay and hang out as much as I can with the other children.
I'm sure it means a lot to the children as well as your daughter. Help us understand what it was like when you came to visit. When you're in that classroom, what do you see?
All the kids are just great, and they just love everyone that walks through the door. They're so friendly, and, each kid is different. And so it's just so great to see, all the different personalities of all the kids. And since I've been there for the past few years, I know some of these children on a personal basis, so I'm able to relate with them when I walk in the morning and they're like, "Good morning, Miss Jill," and I'm, "Good morning, Mr. or Mrs. whoever," and they're very polite. And the teachers also, make sure they're not like, "Oh, good morning, Jill." It has to be Miss Jill, and everything is very polite. And they hear and they listen to that, and they'll correct them right away and be like, "Miss Jill," or "Good morning," or "Hey, don't."
Nice.
But they're just all really great kids, and I love hanging out with them. As much as I would love to go back to bed in the morning, I would kind of rather help out with breakfast and just kind of hang out with the kids.
So not only has it helped your little one, it's helped your family and really helped you kind of be excited and sustain the things that you're trying to set in place in your life. Have you utilized any of the other Grace Hill Settlement House services?
The staff there is very helpful in everything you do. If you need to, you just have to ask for that help if you need it. I have utilized, the extended care program that they offer. And, the staff there has, when I've tried to increase my income, they've, given me lists from, with job listings. And I walk in the front door and they're chasing me down. Hey,
Nice.
I needed a kitchen table at one point, and, they printed off a piece of paper, well, here's from Craigslist, or here, and so they also give every Friday in the week, every student goes home with a bag of canned goods. It's got cereal and milk and, a few things for their family if needed. A lot of times I take the extra and I'll go and donate it at the grocery store or at the pantry down the street, just because it's just sitting there and nobody wants
That's wonderful. I'm hearing you pay it forward.
I try.
Well, then let me have you lend your voice to another mom that could relate to your circumstance that really could benefit from Grace Hill Settlement House and their services.
You could really benefit from Grace Hill and their services. Just, give them a call, go down there. They'll help you with the enrollment, everything step by step to help you with. They will work with you, at any time during that, time span that they allow. And if there's something that you can't do, they're willing to work with you and, really go out of the way for your personal needs, not just, it's personal with everyone. It's not just, these are the rules and this is what we have to follow. They're very personal with every parent's situation. And it's also affordable. The lunch is healthy. The breakfast is healthy. And they really are big on parents and helping in everything that they can possible. That there's nothing that they can't help you do or won't go out and do for you. They've been awesome.
All right, well, let's turn to you, Dan. Share your voice. Tell me about your children.
I have a 5-year-old daughter, Brooklyn Kylie Richardson, that goes to Grace Hill Head Start. She's a nice, lovable, carefree little girl, wants in comfortability, wants to play the leader role a lot more than just the play along role, but it's all in good fun. It's just, she's fun.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Tell us a little bit about the impact Grace Hill's Head Start program has had in her experience.
In her experience, Brooklyn by nature is a shy to start off with in different environments. And I remember her first day going, the waterworks came, and then I was all hurt. I was like, oh no, because as a dad, especially that young, your whole thought is protect them, don't make them sad, try to keep them happy all the time. So she was real sad, and I couldn't stay that day because I had class, but they comforted me and her at the same time and was like, well, it'll be okay, because they had dealt with a lot of kids with that nervousness of first day, second day, maybe even first week, jitters with new environment, new exposure. It quickly, I want to say within a month, it went from no, don't go to no, don't stay, no hugs, goodbye, no kisses, goodbye. Right. It was just okay, I'm
Daddy
here.
Who?
I'm here. Have a good day. See you later.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's it opened her to new environments. It made her not be afraid to try new things, new people, be around new people and things like that. So it's been great to help her development as a young person.
Mm-hmm. And how about her development as a rising student?
As a rising student, when Brooklyn first started, her sister has a speech impediment, a lisp, and it was hard for her with vocabulary. And Brooklyn, being a younger sister, would mock everything that she would hear. And so they implemented a speech help, things like that. They noticed in her difficulty in reading little words. And so they got eye doctors to come down and check out the kids, got her glasses. it was a lot of motivation for them, a lot of help for them, the kids themselves to want to learn or give them the ability to learn. They make classes so fun. Whenever I sit in and they're doing like reading time on the carpet or something like that, it's always some exciting book that even at my age, and I'm 30, like I find myself like I don't want to leave until the end of the book because I want to know what's going to happen.
Right,
you know, maybe a book that I read a long time ago and forgot about, or I just want to see their reaction when they get to the end. They do a lot to slowly, gradually progress them into learning the little things that they know. When she started off, she could mumble A, B, and then gibberish. Now she can say her whole alphabet. She can say her numbers. She can count small add-ons, things like that, like 1 + 1, 2 + 2, anything that she can pretty much use her fingers with. They're very arts and craftsy with the kids. And so she's learned how to use her imagination, which a lot of kids forget these days with technology. But she'll be at home and she'll grab some papers and things like that. I even mentioned that she would scribble on some papers, call herself like writing a story to me or mom.
Oh, nice.
And she would come to us and show us, and we can't read it, but she would have a whole storyline of what it says.
Yeah.
So, and these are all things that Grace Hill has got her comfortable with trying. I've even noticed one classroom has the kids sign in outside of the classroom like the parents sign them in inside the classroom. It gets the motivation to gradually learn how to write their names better and better and better. And so it kind of rubbed over to our class. And like I have Brooklyn, like writing your name. It's like you write your name or you spell your name yourself, you get a reward.
Excellent.
So things like that, like it's all things that Grace Hill has given me ideas outside of the in-class experience to help her keep progressing. It's just a good thing.
So it's not only made her ready and prepared for school, but it's also helped you all have some tools to utilize at home.
Oh, absolutely. It's made me a better dad.
It's, and I'm really glad that you're here to speak on behalf from your perspective. But it's even more tremendous to see your response. You talk about how excited you were to see the children, but to see your response as well. What has this been for you, and why did you even choose the Grace Hill Head Start program in the first place?
With the Grace Hill Head Start, my first daughter, she went to a YWCA, and then it was good, but more in our community was the Grace Hill program, and it was available. And then just through talking about it, my fiance, she found friends who had kids that went through the program and had a great time in the program and learned a lot. And so that was a push forward to be like, this is the perfect place to try.
That's nice.
And so we started her going there and everything. Like I said, they helped me get away from this. Oh, if she's sad, I'll just take her home or something like that. It was like, no, they made me and her comfortable, like I said. And it's been a great growing experience for, like I said, me as a dad. With the father-daughter days, the little hobbies that they do, like the parent-teacher meetings. Miss Horton is one of the directors. Without being too aggressive or anything like that or threatening, she would wait in the hall on parents dropping off and picking up kids and be like, well, why don't you go upstairs and just give a few minutes to either listen or either put your opinion towards things that your kids will be learning or doing coming up in the future. So it gives us a proactive way to be involved. It just makes it great. And I was joking with Jill about how moms traditionally are always the ones in the picture, and they really, really promote like this father-kid day. And I see a lot of dads getting involved.
That's huge.
And it's even reunited me with buddies that I used to play basketball with, like when I in my youth, because I didn't know that they had kids there. But through these daddy-kid days, it's like I would see another dad that I'd be like, hey, how's it going? And it would motivate them to keep coming back.
How about that?
So we can reunite each week to, so it's a great thing.
That's what I call community building. That's huge. Did I hear you say you're taking classes, or you were taking classes while your baby was at Head Start?
Yes, for the 2 years that my daughter's been going to Grace Hill, it's allowed me to acquire my associate's degree. I just acquired it this past February in criminal justice. Without this program, because there are other morning time programs, but without the comfortability and the compassion that they show to make me safe and secure with going and doing work or school, it allowed me to take that venture. And through the 2 years that she's been in Head Start, I've added on to my education. And so now we're sort of progressing together. So it's like dad comes home, he has homework, or you work on your alphabet or your numbers or things like that. And it just keeps us all involved together. And they still allow time and availability for me to do the daddy-daughter days throughout me going to school and things like that and still be involved.
Sure.
So.
That's a tremendous perspective. So glad to hear that. Lend your voice to another family, a dad that could relate to your story.
In my situation, me and mom are at home, but even dads who aren't at home with their kids, if you drop them off or pick them up, just talk to some of the administrators or the teachers to see when events are happening, because they welcome parent volunteering to field trips to like the Muni or opera houses, things like that. Like any venture that their kids are going to experience, they want the parents to be there at any capacity. And so I would say, dads, get out there and show these moms that we love our kids just as much, and so, and we have their best interest in mind, and it'll be fulfilling because it's so fun to watch this little person like grow in front of me and learn new things right before my eyes. So it's great.
Joe, these are tremendous accounts of the value that the Grace Hill Head Start program has offered. What is your role there, and is this something that you typically see?
It is something I typically see. My role basically is to plan and coordinate and ensure the provision of all the services that don't occur in the classroom but are still vital to the child being prepared to learn.
A couple examples.
Health providers coming in to do physical exams and dentals, and helping parents locate resources to do immunizations if they don't have a resource to get those caught up. Mental health services. So really coordinating outside services that you may not see in a typical preschool setting.
Is there a philosophy behind this initiative to learning? Is there a method that incorporates your aspect and what we've been hearing from the parents?
Well, we recognize that the potential for learning is greatest early in a child's life. So we truly believe the earlier we can get a child in this enriching environment, the better. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, we really do solicit information, go to great lengths to solicit information from parents about what they know about their child, because even though we have all these credentialed, degreed, experienced staff, we truly recognize that parents are the experts on their child's education. And so we always start with what's important to the parent.
And we could hear from the parents that there's a good deal of involvement. How do you work to involve the parents?
It really starts from the very first contact. When they come in to apply or to visit the center and fill out an application, we truly listen to what they have to say about their child. Now, unfortunately, with a typical federal program, there's a mound of paperwork to go through, but we don't just sit there and ask questions and fill out forms. We really do ask them, what do you like to do in your leisure time with your child? And what are maybe your two biggest goals you'd like to see for your child to achieve by the time they're done at Head Start, or by the time they're done with this program year? And I think the other thing is we really go to great lengths to ensure that we have an inviting, enriching environment, a classroom environment and a center environment, so parents really feel welcome, and we're continuously encouraging them to come in and volunteer. Not only can you drop in any time to eat lunch with your child, but please come in and read a book to the children, or, just come here and be part of the Head Start family.
That's right. A part of the Head Start family. Is this an expensive program in order to execute?
There is no fee for parents to participate in Head Start. So currently, the program year that we're in now, Head Start actually operates from 8:30 to 2, and there is no charge for parents at all. Now, for those parents who are working or going to school and need hours of care beyond that, either before 8:30 or after 2, we do have wraparound extended day services, and so there is a fee associated with that. So in total, each one of the centers has classrooms that are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But we are tied into the state's child care subsidy system, and so many of our families apply for the child care subsidy, and it's actually funded through that.
And in order to get signed up, what is the process? First step, anyway.
Okay, well, actually, a person could really walk in. We actually have staff who part of their responsibility is to do that, is to give the parents a tour of the facility and take the application. But they could really walk into any of our centers without an appointment. There's also a phone number I don't know if I could give that would actually route them.
Of course, we would love to have that, yes.
So we have a kind of an automated system set up for parents to be able to call in and be directed to the center that's closest to them. And that number is 314-584-6995.
314-584-6995, 314-584-6995. And you mentioned centers. How many do you have, and where are they?
Well, right now, we currently Grace Hill directly operates 4 Head Start centers, 2 on the south side and 2 on the north side. And so on the south side, we've got 1 location at Minnesota and 1 on Alhambra. And on the north side, we have 1 on Bissell, near the water tower, and on North 22nd Street. We will, in the fall, be reopening our Patch Center, which is also on the south side. It's also on Minnesota, just a couple blocks down. In addition to those centers that we operate directly, we also partner with 4 child care centers in the community.
Nice.
And we also partner with the St. Louis Public Schools. And so we have Head Start children who are actually receiving services at the St. Louis Public Schools with technical support from our staff and monitoring by our staff.
It's ridiculously exciting. I almost, if I weren't going to stunt my children's growth, have them go back to being 4 and 5 to take part in the program. Can I get them enrolled today? It would be my last question.
Yes, you could. Actually, we are going to. Unfortunately, we could not operate over the summer last year because of sequestration. We had to make some cuts, but that funding has been restored, so we will be offering services all summer. One of my major responsibilities at Grace Hill is to get the word out about Head Start to ensure that all families with children ages 3 to 5 know that we're here and excited to educate their children. So I encourage anyone who desires to get their child into Head Start to please give us a call at 314-584-6995.
Thank you so much.
Grace Hill Settlement House is a United Way partner agency serving the city of St. Louis. Through programs like Head Start, the Women's Business Center, and our More Dollar Network, we are helping individuals, families, and communities to be stronger, healthier, and more self-reliant. To learn more about Grace Hill or to enroll in Head Start, please call 314-584-6904.
These are the Voices of Grace, neighbors helping neighbors since 1903. Visit gracehill.org to learn of the multitude of resources and services that Grace Hill Settlement House offers, which includes early childhood, youth and family supports, aging and special needs, community and economic development. If you have more questions about the program, need help, send an email to info@oneraregem.com. That's info@oneraregem.com. Hear, feel, come to know, and join in the Voices of Grace.
Grace is able to sustain in anything you can dream of and anything that comes your way.
Voices of Grace is another positive production of RareGem Productions.